Hello and welcome back to your Esports Rundown for May 9th, 2025. We've got a really busy week in esports, so let's just get straight into it. Just for results, I just want to talk about Tax winning Gamescom LATAM. Did great. South America really showed out in this tournament. They, I think, surprised a lot of people, and I think a lot of people want more events in Brazil because of this event. But we'll get into the big one. EVO Japan started last night. Just pulls for most games, I believe. We did have the Fight Fury side tournament where Zhao Hai took down the Fenridi in the finals and has already qualified for SWC and EWC. So Zhao Hai has two different chances in EWC to win a ton of money. And he looks so good in this game. But a lot of other really good players: Nemo, Score, Kubo, ZJZ, John, and Kindevu, making that top 8. We'll see as this game kind of fleshes out. It'll be very interesting to me to see. Other than Zhao, who kind of really floats and stays at the top. And then I think, let me see if Grand Blue, if they're the top 8 yet. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, their bracket, they're in the top like 16, I think. So pretty normal names for Grand Blue. Lots of Japanese players, 2 Americans, 1 EU, but it makes sense that a lot of back players. And then I don't think any of the other games that I really cover have gotten that far, so they're still, I think, pretty early in this. Yeah. See if it. Okay. I'll just talk about entrance. Obviously, this is one of the biggest tournaments, period. A lot of people DQ'd, unfortunately, but got big names from EU with like Levin and Tiger Pop. Got America's got Red Ditto. Jonathan Tennant unfortunately had to drop out. Super Noon's there. Good amount of APAC players, and then a ton of really strong Japanese player like Daru Tatum. Well, not Japanese, but Japanese resident. Tataru, Tuyura, Lox, Amito. Great tournament. It's gonna be super fun. I'm super excited to watch more of it. Street Fighter, it's just everyone is there. This is such a stacked tournament. Like, there's so many good players. Like, I saw it was like top 96 matchups. I'm just like, that could be top 8. Like, every single one of those matchups could be top 8s in other tournaments. It's insane. And then Tekken is going around a lot of really big entrants as well. So, just, if you love fighting games, go watch EVO. That's all I can say. Smash had their giant tournament. Karigbi and A Cola took it in the end. Beating Raru. Mia gets 3rd. Tweak unfortunately gets 4th, but a really good showing, and I think that was his last Ultimate tournament from what he said, which is a shame because Tweak is great, but I understand the burnout and not wanting to compete. Wraith got 5th, Doramagi also got 5th, and then Gluto Carmelo ends at top 8. Riddles so close to being able to get into top 8, especially being more of a Street Fighter player. It's really impressive. I just want to point that out. And I don't think they have anything big this week. Yeah, they're mostly on break. There's gonna be another one of just regular Japanese tournaments. Good amount of people aren't entering because they're over in Japan. But I think it's just like a 1 day. Yeah, so you got, this will be a good tournament, but not a huge one like last week. And then let's head over to Call of Duty, where they're continuing their online qualifiers. As we have the results from last week, no big surprises overall. Other than Phase 3-0ing LAT, but and also LAT just kind of starts slow because they lost to Heretics as well. But it's nice to see a Heretics seemingly are kind of keeping up their momentum and look like an actual contender. Really nice to see that. Optic 3-0ing Vancouver could be huge, but I think you need to see more longevity out of Optic before you're really back on that bandwagon. Toronto taking care of business. It'll be interesting, and then we'll get to see champs soon, so it'll be fun. Going over to Apex, we had Team Falcons taking the final. We go to finals. In Elam finals, we had a few amount of big shockers. Team Liquid and Fnatic both not qualifying, and both of them having like pretty bad performances. Not very like them, but you know, it happens, especially in a long tournament format like this. And then we got to the grand finals where Alliance got to match point so early, but Falcons just clutched out 2 at the end. A little bit of trolling on the final circle because there's 3 teams left and they killed each other, and Falcons just cleaned and was able to third party, which is like, man, you can't let that happen. But really great showing from Empire Gaming. I'm pretty sure they're a CCL team. Green Stego did great from, I think they're a Thai team. So it's very, very interesting to see all these like open qual teams do well and come in. Actually, I don't think Empire is. No, I think they are. No, they were Pro League last year at least. So yeah, it was super fun to watch. I think we'll be getting back. Yeah, in 2 weeks we'll have some more Apex, so I'll get back to you next. We'll pretty much skip it next week, but I can't wait to see more. I love watching Apex. I don't play it much, but I do love watching. And we're getting into the Rainbow Six event. Is starting tomorrow, I believe. Where I know I mentioned it last week, but we have CAG versus FRX, Furia versus Elevate, C9 versus PSG, Wildcard versus Scars, Dark Zero versus Fnatic, Falcons versus Loud, FaZe versus BDS, G2 versus SSG, W7M versus Matey, and Secret versus Liquid. So I believe it's like some sort of Swiss system, which would be just a cool thing to see the new operators and stuff. And then I don't know if there's any finals. There's a playoffs. So yeah, there will be some sort of playoff bracket for top 8. It'll be fun. That's gonna be all throughout this weekend and next week. So ending next weekend. So we'll check in when there's more results and seeing how these new teams kind of fare in the tournament. Heading over to Overwatch, which I believe has started today. Yeah, Korea just started today. Had a really great match this morning. I need to do the right thing. Yeah, we had Falcons versus T1, which was crazy good. Falcons were able to clutch it up in the end. But T1 looking solid. Hopefully they're able to kind of keep the momentum going and keep improving throughout the year. CR taking care of OCN and Zeta taking care of EDC. Not too surprising. Not many great games tomorrow, but I think the 11th T1 versus Way, I think it's gonna be a really good one. I think both of them might be above Falcons or above Zeta, but those are kind of like those 3 that are vying for those last 2 spots. So it'll always be interesting to see them play against each other. And then next weekend on Friday, we're going to have Zeta versus Falcons. That'll be very, very fun. Look at OWCS China, because that's starting tomorrow. And... oh, is this the promotion? Oh, there's open quals. Okay, so there's going to be open quals tomorrow. Do I recognize any of the people? I'd recognize Aiming. Eileen. I think Milk Tea is going to get through. That's going to be my gut feeling. Yeah, so we'll see 2 teams make it to China Stage 2. And then an LCQ. I do want to mention that Weibo did pick up, I forget what their old name was, but so very happy that they have a team, and happy to see Weibo back in the scene. But Weibo is a very nice Chinese org in terms of esports, and I always love to see them competing. Yeah, so this doesn't start for a while, so you get the promotions, but you need to wait a little longer for OWCS China. But NA Stage 2 is starting tomorrow. And we're going to have Team TBD, which I still think they need to just... hopefully they get signed soon. Is playing... As former NTMR, is going to be playing current NTMR. Got a really good match in SSG versus TL, the 2 partner teams. And then we'll get to see Dill Ducks against Extinction. Dill's gonna clear for sure. And then we have the other TBD team versus Supernova, and then SSG versus new NTMR, which I forget who they were. So that'll be next weekend for NA, and then we have EMEA starting. Where I keep doing this, man. We're gonna have Genji versus Ultimate. Oh man, what a banger day 1. Genji versus Ultimates, QAD versus Twisted Minds. That's gonna be nuts. Pets versus FTA is kind of mid. Vert Pro versus QOI. I don't even know who they are. And then we're gonna end the day with another really good game in QAD versus Ultimates. Man, EU's gonna be very fun that first weekend. Holy. And then I will mention Japan because they're going to start on the 12th, and I might be co-streaming this actually. I might get up to co-stream this. We'll see. Reject picked up Vortex Wolves. Very happy to see them in really great Japanese org getting in. Same with Pharrell. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams kind of pan out. I do think Varel and Reject are going to be the favorites, and they don't have the schedule out yet, so I can't react to stuff. So, yeah, these are the groups though, so that's cool, you know? That's going to be it for Overwatch. I have little results. Get to talk more in depth about like how things are actually going next week. I don't know if Marvel Rivals is doing anything. They're just doing... oh wait, see. Oh, this is the old one. Yeah, I don't think the Wikipedia is updated. There's surely more events, but I don't know. So let's head over to, let's say Valorant. As we do have the results from last week, XLG, G2 being champions. In EMEA, their playoffs have just started. And we have BBL beating Navi in upper bracket. And so it's going to be Team Heretics versus BBL, and then Fnatic took down Footballists, and that's going to be Team Liquid versus Fnatic. Navi took down Carmine Corp in the lower bracket, and Footballists and Vitality are yet to play. They'll be playing today, actually, in a few hours. This is probably today, right? Yeah, this was today. I missed it. Let's watch an EVO. I'm rooting for Navi. I always pull for Navi a bit. So hopefully they're able to get into the grand final or the lower bracket so they can go to Masters. And then Pacific, we have a big upset where DRX and PaperX did take him down, but PaperX able to make it to Masters. It's gonna be Genji, Paper X, and RRQ. T1 really just looking at this bracket they needed to play better and win, because like you just got housed with having to go into T1 and DRX or Paper X and DRX. It's just unfortunate. So we will have this throughout the next 2 days, but the Masters teams are confirmed, so we're just waiting on EMEA to see who is where. So and we'll know very soon. Actually, next week this will be fully fleshed out. Okay, let's head over to some CS as we have another week, another Vitality win. They were able to beat Falcons 3-2 again. Valiant effort from Falcons, but they just weren't able to get it done. This Vitality team is so good. And then in the Nomadic Heroic, I think 3-0'd. 3-1 Big Clan. So we're gonna have a pretty light week. Or not. We had a pretty light week. Let's say that's better. Because just Asian Champion League. Where Tyloo was able to take down FlyQuest, and then but FlyQuest does have the opportunity to get back and face Tyloo. This is for an EWC spot, so this is a really, really big tournament for these guys. I don't know. Oh, okay, so FlyQuest will be able to have a chance against Tyloo. If they win, they go to the grand finals. If they lose, to third place. It's kind of, that feels bad for Tyloo and like GG How. But and then Lim Vision Gaming will have a chance to play against the Huns. And then the winners of these two will be facing for the grand finals in C spot. And then we're gonna have PGL Astana right before IM Dallas. And this is a smaller tournament. They're a smaller team tournament. So we don't have Vitality and Falcons mucking it up and ruin it, but we have a lot of really good teams. Like, I think it would be very interesting to see new G2. I do think they're going to be getting Sun Pius and a new coach from Heroic, but I think that's after IM Dallas, from what I've been told. But Spirit is going to be placing Gamer Legion, Mongols versus Furia, Aurora versus Big, G2 versus MIBR, Navi versus Matey, Astralis versus ODDK, Pain versus Hotu, and Vert Pro versus NIP. And just normal Swiss throughout the week. And then on the weekend there will be playoffs. And then we'll get to be closer to IM Dallas. We head over to Dota. And while we're having the Blast Slam number 3, don't forget the 3. As we have in the group stages, Falcons, GG, Paravision doing pretty well, Aurora, Team Spirit in that bottom half. On the group B, Tundra, Tidebound, pretty makes sense. Team Liquid kind of laying an egg in the group stage, but they have a chance to lose to Spirit in the playoffs. Aurora took down Bet Boom and then Extreme, and then they are, I think, currently playing Aurora as I'm recording this. Spirit took down Paravision after Liquid, and then they also have taken down Tidebound to be able to play Falcons for a chance against the grand finals. That will be tomorrow. And then grand finals on the 11th. I would imagine GG2 has this, so it'd probably be GG Chandra, Falcons, Team Spirit. And is there anything crazy next week? No. Asia Champion League stuff, but is this free? This is an EWC spot between Extreme, Cold XL, and Tidebound. Fun. Lots of money too. Damn. That's crazy. And then next week we'll talk about Dream League. Heading over to League of Legends. Nope. Yeah, League of Legends. We have all the leagues in competing now. In terms of the LCK, where did I leave off? Probably when was last Friday? Last Friday was the 2nd. So yeah, nothing too surprising. Telecom War, T1 was able to take care of him. Bro took down DNF 2-1. That was fun. Then almost beat VRX. KT shocked DK and took him down. KT's been doing pretty well. Perfect is back in the lineup, but I think they might be sticking with Perfect Decadom and not switching it anymore. At least mid-season, they might do a roster move, but because I could see them trying to get hype from Bro and removing that loan. But yeah, Faker got a pentakill. That was cool. In terms of the matches next week, I think T1 DK is going to be a great one tomorrow. Honestly, Genji VRX is also going to be pretty solid. And then next week proper, KT versus HLE might be an interesting one. We'll see if T1's able to conquer their bro demons. And then yeah, that's G1 T1 Genji at the end of the week, but we'll talk about that next week. So where do I go? Here I go to PL. Stage. Oh, Rumble stage. I forgot. Let's get down to business. WE took down NIP, BLG took down FPX, TES beat IG, AL took down TES, WE took down FPX, BLG's looking good, taking out TT, JDG took down WE, IG took down TT, I think that was the Lashai pentakill. NIP finally got back on the board, taking a win against Weibo, and then losing to TES later on. FPX took down TT, BLG beat AL, so again, BLG looks like they're kind of back. Tomorrow we're gonna have RNG versus EDG. I think that's a very important match for relegation. Weibo versus AL, which would just be a banger. WE versus BLG, which I think BLG should kind of stomp. Wait, is this game currently happening? No. Right? I think that just wasn't updated. Let me look at full esports for y'all on my other monitor. IG did win 2-0 or 2-1, so IG was able to clutch it out against WE. Ultra Prime is going to be playing LDG, also a very interesting one for relegation. TD's probably going to get blown out by Weibo. JDG TS is going to be a really good one. NIP FPX is a big one for NIP, but then they unfortunately have to play BLG the next week. And I also think IG JDG is good. LPL is just fun, and it's just really competitive at this point. Looking at the standings, this RNG game is going to be very important versus EDG. If they're able to win, puts pressure on Ultra Prime. If they lose, they're just out, I believe. And then LGD could ruin Ultra Prime's chances if they lose. TT's already out. Looks like NIP is going to be joining them soon. IG is moving up to 7-7. They're trying to really recover it. And Billy is starting to rise. JDG being consistent. FPX surprisingly up there. But yeah, that's LPL. LEC, we're getting very, very close to the playoffs. And we're going to have some really important games for the LEC to see who is actually going to be qualifying And it's going to be the sick road show, but we're going to first mention last week, Fnatic took down BDS, KC took down Rogue, GX beat BDS, G2 beat Vitality, man, all 2-0s, Fnatic over TH, and then Koi versus SK. This is what the current standings look like. No one's actually really confirmed. I think, well, because like it's top 6, so I think technically, or BDS actually have a chance. The only two that are out are SK and Rogue, I believe. And I think there's only like a very like insane chance they get through. But we're gonna have big matches for SK, where they get to play G2 and Vitality. But I imagine they lose both. KC versus Vitality, I think is gonna be very big for Vitality as well. But I think if they just get one win, they should be safe. But everyone, like, these other teams want Vitality to lose very, very badly. And then GX needs the win over Heretics to qualify, and then Koi really needs a win over Rogue as well. So I would, I mean, they want to just do it for seeding, but I would imagine K Corp ends first, Fnatic second, Koi third, G2 fourth. I think they're gonna win, but I think they end 5 and 3. I think Heretics loses to Giant X. And I think Vitality also wins. I don't know how that's gonna work between the tiebreaker. I guess it just depends on game count. It'll be very interesting. So just watch the LEC this week. Actual stakes. It's great. Oh, I skipped over LCP. How dare I? Last week, I think I talked about DFM and SHB. Yeah. And then Chiefs took down or lost to Vikings, but did take a game. Secret beat Talon. And then next week we're gonna have Chiefs versus GAM, or tomorrow. Chiefs versus GAM, Talon versus SHG, Vikings versus Team Secret, and then DFM versus CFO. LTA North. We have. Oh, that's the groups. Group phase. We have not very many surprises of Team Liquid and Cloud9 being 2-0. FlyQuest is also 2-0. And 100 Thieves is 1-1, along with Dignitas, and Shopify is unfortunately 0-2. Yeah, SR just, they needed to beat Dig, really. But FlyQuest looking strong. Even though like Bookboy, I believe, entered against SR a bit. And then next week we're gonna have a really good game between C9 and TL. 100 Thieves SR I think is really important for 100 Thieves. Just need to get some sort of result there, as you would imagine. FlyQuest 2-0s Dig, and then Lion DSG for consolation number for third. And then there's, what is this? What? I don't know. I give up. We'll figure it out next week after this stuff is finished. And for LTA South, Furia took down Red Canids, Loud beat Fluxo, Pain beat Vikings, or not Vikings, Vivo Keyed, and then Isurus Estral beat Leviathan. And we'll have a very interesting week next week of Pain versus Isurus. Isurus really needs that result. Vivo Keyed really needs to beat Leviathan to have a chance. And then Fury gets to play Fluxo, and then we'll have pretty much a play-in game for Loud and Red Canids. And that's it for League, and we'll head over to Rocket League quickly and go down the list of Europe. Open 4 happened, and it's pretty predictable. Vitality and Carmine Corp just look better than everyone else. But that being said, Dignitas did well, got through GK. actually took a few games off Vitality. Gentle Mates Alpine almost did as well. NIP not able to beat them in lowers. So it'd be very interesting, honestly, between these 4 teams, who's getting those last 2 spots. I think that will be the big thing to watch. I think Vitality and Karmine Corp are pretty safe. What else happened last week? APAC happened last week. No surprise, Luminosity won. Koi did put up a good fight. But unfortunately, Luminosity is just so good. This is a 2-team region, but I do think Luminosity is head and shoulders above everyone else. And we'll just head to NA, where it is going on currently, and I can't wait to see what's happened. Oh wow, Alpha Kep's team almost actually made it. That's hilarious. They have a chance against Strictly Business, and then it was LJ's Wi-Fi came out, so the Ultimates are in the lower bracket against Complexity. So the fact that one of the Complexity or Ultimates gets out, it's crazy. Shopify had a bad week. Gen G lost to NRG in the uppers, but that's not too surprising, really. And then the boys got through as Aqua's team, and then Deleted's playing Schnitzel House. That will be for upper bracket stuff, and that'll be happening again tomorrow. This will be happening tomorrow and Sunday. Oh, and at South America they had a shocker. Hell yeah, South America. Secret took down Furia. Secret kind of shocking everyone because like they're not a bad team, but Furia's just been running this region, so I think Furia needs to wake up. They are still probably pretty safe to make worlds and make well, it was only game 1, so I don't know if Lost is able to play the entire time or not, but we'll see. That might have been the problem, but regardless, they're still pretty safe in terms of RLCS points. And then OCE, I think they are currently going. Normal teams pretty much, other than Chiefs losing into Unfind in the West. Wildcard's gonna be played against them. Power versus TSM, and then Chiefs are in the lower bracket. So Scrimsor was doing pretty well last time. How is this going? 2AD versus Falcons, Rock in the upper bracket, TM in the lower bracket. That's kind of crazy. But, and then that's pretty much it. So lots of great Rocket League if you want to watch it. If not, you're missing out. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this.